All right, folks, today we're doing an unboxing video. Operation Silver Bayonet, Vietnam War, 1965. A set of 172 scale figures from Italieri. This, my friends, is part of a series of videos where I'm talking about playing a new game that I've devised, Move Out and Draw Fire, War Game Rules for Bush and Proxy Wars 1953 to 1979. This is probably the fourth video in the series, and I may decide to simply do, this is a draft copy of the rules, doesn't have all the illustrations, doesn't have all the appendices. What I may end up doing is putting this unboxing video first, so just be aware that if you see the unboxing video and there's nothing else about these rules, it's because I've decided the unboxing was more exciting to me to get up on the YouTube and Rumble site immediately. By the way, if you haven't checked out my videos concerning Dragons Beyond, Midwest Fantasy War Game, Trouble Aboard Station Brown, I don't think I have a video about the Mage's Companion up there yet. Add that to the to-do list. But I am a longtime gamer and newbie game designer. I started designing games back in, I want to say, 2022 with a large foray into the early period of RPG history, which took me backwards in time to Chainmail, the miniature war game devised by Gygax and Perrin, which took me in turn backwards even further into Tony Bath, Don Featherstone, Phil Barker, and then forward in time a little bit to Dave Wesley and what they did with Brownsteins in the Blackmore campaign, and then finally backwards in time once again to Charles Totten's Strategos war game that was designed for West Point and for units across the U.S. military in the wake of the Civil War. So I have been at this for a long time and am developing a series of titles, and hopefully this latest edition is going to be a lot of fun for many people and teach them a lot about small unit tactics. With that being said, let's take a look at the box. I did, when I got this, take it out of the shrink wrap and just pop the top of the box. I did not take out any of the sprues. You can tell that it comes with 50 figures in 172-inch scale, 50 on the Vietnamese side and 50 on the Free Forces / US side, as well as a tank, a 113, and a Huey, some hooches, a guard tower, etc., sandbags. So I think this is a tremendous amount of value. I got this for like $100 off Amazon. Certainly you can probably find this on eBay or somewhere else. I know individual sprues of figures are available from Italieri, covering the Marines and some other forces like the Rough Puffs and CIDG. You can go out there on eBay and find these at pretty good price point, actually. But I wanted to get as many figures as possible, as quickly as possible in one place, and that was this box set. So without further ado, and the artwork on the front is just chef's kiss. I love it. There's a lot of detail in this painting as well. All right. Yes. Inside, and this I did take out of the box and just briefly flip through, but it's got multilingual description of the Vietnamese War, and then, of course, everything you need. But it also has some of these color dioramas that they've produced, as well as additional paintings. So just alone, the amount of, oh, there goes, fortunately, a decal sheet I can go get. There is just a lot of stuff packed in here. Gosh, I love that. I love this. It doesn't look like these models are super hard to assemble. Look at that. 113 gets its own page. You get a gun position on the 113. You can drop the ramp. You can pop open the this troop hatch in the top of the track. Wonder if you can even open the troop door in the back. We'll see when we put this together. But yeah, what I wanted was as much value as possible in as short a term as possible. They've even got a painting guide here. Yeah, I think this is going to be. Look at that. Huh. Give you some printed leaves that you can actually put together as well. That's crazy. Crazy. Now that would take a lot of cutting to do, and fortunately I went and got a set of trees. I might go get them and just show you guys the trees that I got. But once again, off Jeff Bezos's Emporium for lots of cash being lost from your account as quickly as possible. I've got nothing against Bezos. I think he's obviously done a lot for himself and us, right? He's accelerated the process of getting goods into the hands of consumers in a very high quality and replicable fashion, and returns are easy and all that stuff. So, I'm not anti-capitalist by any means, but I certainly feel like enough is enough, and I want to start diversifying, but not for these purchases. All right, this is the tracked vehicle. This is the M48. Look at that. There's enough detail here. I like the detail on the hatch too. It looks like the molds are, yeah, I like it. You got the engine grill. What does this look like? This looks like parts for the 113. Because you've got your Pioneer equipment up here. That's wild that you can see the shovels and axes and stuff. No, this might still be the tank. This could still be the tank bottom because it's got more road wheels and tracks. Well, that could be 113. Let's see. Ah, this is Huey stuff right here. Huey stuff. We got the plexiglass for the front of the Huey. We got the Huey itself, main body. Not a lot of detail on the body. Of course, then again, it's an airframe. Huh. This looks like it's got some of the hooches. Here's the sandbags. Here are some of the sides to the building. Here's where one of the buildings sits on this mud area. And it's actually got tank tracks. It's got tracks going through the mud and footprints in the mud. Nice detail there on the footprints. That's cool. You can see that the Vietnamese troops are... I like the fact that everything came in olive drab and green already. So if you wanted to put these on the table unpainted, and these are U.S. forces, you can tell by that dude's. He's got a grenade launcher. That was introduced late. There's an M60. Yeah, so U.S. forces are more the darker green here, looks like. Nope, same color. Same color green as the VC. I'm going to call them VC. Could be NVA as well. And what do we have here? Oh, this must be MDF. Yeah, these are MDF. Cool. Those will be very easy to assemble and paint. And that's it. That's all that's in the box. So a lot of value packed into one place. I'm very happy with the purchase. I think this is going to be fun to put together. Not super complicated. Should be pretty easy to get to the table. I have such a backlog on painting. I am such a horrible person when it comes to projects. I'm just all over the place, as you can probably tell by now. The fact that I've got multiple things that are like halfway developed, it just indicates that I've got some kind of creative ADHD. I'm trying to be more disciplined and put things on the schedule and be more consistent for you guys. But, consistency matters. I'm very consistent when I have to be for my workplace. However, when it comes to these creative endeavors, I tend to ping around from one thing to another, and it is frustrating to me in some sense, but then again, I like the freedom. It's my free time. I like the freedom to be able to explore. If I was doing this as my full-time gig, being a game designer, then sure, I would have a lot more discipline around the process. And I'm going to introduce some discipline, but I can't do too much, or I suspect that it will not only kill the fun for me, it will also likely stamp out the creativity and the chaos that I need. And there has to be some mix of chaos in this process. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this unboxing video. Again, what we're talking about is new set of wargame rules, Move Out and Draw Fire, wargame rules for Bush and Proxy Wars 1953-1979 by yours truly. It is going to be available sometime, most likely on itch.io. I like putting things out there, and definitely if I keep the current formatting, it looks like getting this stuff to the printer is going to be fairly easy. So I should be able to get it up there on a print-on-demand site pretty straightforward. All right, that's all I've got time for today. Talk to you soon.